Hey, Ted Godwin here with LSB TV at Westhills Stadium. We're getting ready to hear the big announcement from John Herdman and the Canadian National Program. We're hoping for some big news.
How's everybody doing? Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow, I'm a little claustrophobic, so if I run out of the room, just kidding. Thank you to the City of Langford and Pacific FC for hosting us here today. My name is Sandra Gage. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Canada Soccer. We are going to do some Q&A from the front of the room with our head coach and XL Program Director for Canada Soccer's men's national team, John Herdman. And of course, to my left, someone you are all familiar with, Mr. Rob Friend, CEO for Pacific FC, but most importantly, a former member of our men's national team. Before we begin, we would like to introduce some special guests. The Honourable Mayor Stuart Young, members of his council and economic development committee as well. The president of BC Soccer, Shell Brosgard, is in the room. I can't see where.
Shell is the young one, Shell is the older one.
Oh, there you go. Okay, thank you for joining us. We also have Gareth Rees, former captain of Canada's men's national rugby team and the only Canadian member of the World Rugby Hall of Fame, who you all know as well, obviously from this area. And from Pacific FC, the head coach, Pau Maduka, has joined us, as well as Brad Norris-Jones, the executive president of operations, and members of his staff who've been instrumental in helping us put this together today. So thank you to you. We are pleased to welcome you for the announcement that Canada Soccer's men's national team will be playing on this pitch on March the 27th against Trinidad and Tobago. So the match against our CONCACAF rival will be going on sale on February the 20th, next week, with prices starting as low as $20. Group packages also available, and also a special pre-sale window on February the 19th for Canada Soccer Insiders. So very excited to be launching that next week. So what we will do now is learn a little bit more about the match, the men's national team, and Canada Soccer in general, and Canadian soccer in general. So first, before we hear from our head coach, just want to let you know that since taking over the program in 2018, John Herdman has led the team to 12 of 16 victories in international matches. And most importantly, last year in 2019, it was the first time that Canada had defeated Mexico, Costa Rica, and the United States in 1 year. 2 of those at the youth level, and of course, the men's team beating the USA for the first time in 34 years. So, yeah, definitely the program is going in the right direction. So we would like to start with John telling us the importance of the upcoming match.
Yeah, it's a big game. For those that follow the team, we're on a journey towards the Hex, which is World Cup qualification. We were 30 points away from the Hex, as announced in July in 2019. We've closed that gap to 14 points, and the games out here, 2 matches against Trinidad, some pretty critical points to push us in a competition pathway that you guys can all get excited and be proud of, which is that hexagonal tournament, playing the best teams in CONCACAF to go to a World Cup. But I think it's more than just playing against Trinidad for a Hex. I was pretty inspired by this guy's story and Josh, what they've done for Victoria, what they've done for football in this region. I was here on the opening day. I got to see the atmosphere. I got to hear the stories of his wife painting the wall and the helicopters flying over and all the things that I think everyone put into to make this a unique opportunity for Victoria. I think it's a real inspiration, and I got to see the crowd that day, and the crowd were phenomenal. we want to make this, I don't think it'll ever be a hostile environment when it's Canada. We're not that type of people. But I want us to make sure that, you know, we just pack this place and give these players all the support that they're going to need to gather these points. And I think for the people here and the kids, they're going to get a chance to see their heroes in the flesh. And you don't have to get on a ferry.
Thanks, John. Before we hear from Rob, a few facts you may not know about Rob. In addition to winning club championships in 2 different countries at the international level, Rob represented Canada in 1 cycle of FIFA World Cup qualifiers, as well as 2 editions of the CONCACAF World Cup, helping Canada reach the 2007 semi-finals. At the youth level, he also represented Canada at the FIFA U20 World Cup Argentina 2001. So, with that introduction, what does it mean to the island to host Canada Soccer's men's national team in this match?
Yeah, no, thanks, Sandra. I thought my career was a little bit better than that, but
Well, it is, but it was too long to say in this conference.
no, I mean, obviously, you know, first off, I want to thank John for taking the opportunity to play at Westhills Stadium. We're obviously very proud of it. City of Langford's done a phenomenal job. Mayor Stu's done an amazing job supporting us and bringing professional soccer to the island, and we're proud. We're proud of this stadium. They essentially painted it purple. We're painting this city and this community purple because we're very proud of what we're doing here, and ultimately it's about Canadian soccer. That's why Josh and I have invested, you know, sort of our own personal time and money and our family's time into making this work here, because we're passionate about this, which is young Canadian players making the World Cup, and we'll do everything we can to support it. And again, I can only thank John and Canada Soccer for taking the opportunity to play here. We're very proud. It's an amazing stadium. You know, it's not huge, but it's a great. Honestly, it's one of the best environments. John was here at the season openers, and we were just joking around that it was one of the most surreal experiences I've ever had. You know, opening day here, and we built the far grandstand there, and again, we're very proud of it, and it's going to be a packed environment, and hopefully it's going to be a venue for future games, and get a couple good results. And Pacific and the City of Langford and this entire community is going to get behind it.
Thank you, Rob. So, John, maybe you can give a little insight into the players that might be here and who you expect. It is an official FIFA window, of course, when the match will be held.
Well, we were disappointed, I think, not to be guaranteed to be in the Hex. At the end of the Nations League, we won that match against the USA. We took a big step forward, and then we took a step back in the next match. And what that did is just make the players really hungry to get in the fight. We put ourselves in the fight, you know, to qualify. And every man that I've spoke to, they're committed to this country. And typically, this March window is a tricky one. You've got guys, you know, fighting for the title in Scotland. You've got guys fighting against relegation, and their clubs want them to stay. But, you know, there's a group of men gonna come here to get the results, the points they need to do exactly what Rob said, to take a team to a World Cup, to inspire a nation. That's the journey we're on these days. We experienced it on the women's side, how to inspire a country and stop a country, and then the guys are committed to that vision as well. And this will be one of those steps, and the people of Victoria and Langford can say, well, I remember where we were at when we took the big step against Trinidad to push us into the Hex. They'll be part of that journey, and I think that's the exciting thing. Alphonso Davies, if he's not injured, will be running up and down that left wing there. And, you know, kids will get a chance to see him in the flesh, and hopefully the next Fonzie comes out of this city.
Thanks, and maybe we'll just ask you, Rob, your feelings about this young dynamic group of Canadian players, and particularly in Alphonso Davies, who, you know, certainly with your experience in the Bundesliga, what he's really doing there. I mean, we see the media reports, but how impressive is his performance there?
Yeah, no, I mean, first off, I want to start. I mean, I've been involved in Canadian soccer for over 20 years, obviously as a youth national team player, and I was just telling John, I've never felt this sort of energy in Canadian soccer. John's done a phenomenal job with the men's national team, really inspiring, and that's what it's about. And obviously what the Canadian Premier League's doing, and so it's definitely an exciting time. And you know, when you look at the squad, the young squad, you know, as a former player, I'm very proud to watch and support these young players. I mean, it's absolutely, when I travel abroad, you know, I'm out there boasting about our young talent that we got, because Canada has talent, and Alphonso Davies really is putting this nation on the map. You know, with my experience playing in Germany, it is not an easy nation to come into. It's very challenging, it's very difficult, especially a club like Bayern Munich. So that's just, you know, a testament to Fonzie's character. You know, he's 19 years old, broken into, you know, essentially a top 5 club in the world, and he's Canadian, and he's going to be out here representing our country. So we're obviously very proud of him, and you know, it's he's got a long way to go and an amazing career ahead of him. But you know, so it's just really a testament to who he is, and you know, we hopefully there's going to be a lot more Fonzies coming behind him.
More Fonzies, more often?
By design,
By
one
design,
chance.
exactly. We used to, that's a saying that John's regularly used in regards to Christine Sinclair, our all-time record holder for all men and women players. Catherine?
Hi, Catherine Davies from Media Pro. Question for John. People may not know a lot about Trinidad and Tobago, but they are the team that ended the U.S.'s chances of qualifying for the 2018 World Cup. So how do you motivate your boys? They'll all know that. How do you get them into this game and make them confident that they've got it?
Well, I think that's part of it. They're a tough opponent. We know Trinidad are a tough opponent in this region. And with that, the players want to play these tough matches. That's a big part of them getting up for it. I think the fans are going to play a massive part to this as well. Typically, we're travelling around CONCACAF and we're playing in hostile environments with pitches that you don't want to ever play on and fans going crazy. You know, and part of coming to Langford and Victoria is that I think we can create this packed house where it'll be rocking. And for once, you know, maybe the Trinidadians are thinking, wow, I don't want to play here today. And that's part of it. But they're a tough team. You know, I watched that game just yesterday, the US match. They won 2-0. And they have pace, they have power, athleticism. They have a new coach. And the new coach's goal is to try and galvanise this group. He feels they've lost their way. So I'm expecting one of those rare and pre-game speeches that get a team to go out there and really compete. So for the fans, I think it's going to be excellent. There's no guarantees in this match, but you know, the 12th man or 12th person here in Victoria might be the difference.
We're counting on it. It will be as packed as this room on March the 27th. Yes?
Hi, I'm Adam Ustanik with the Young Gaffers podcast. You mentioned.
We heard your podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Nothing gets by John.
We're gonna tell everybody that we have a top-notch listener. Thank you. You mentioned like the guys, particularly playing in Europe, they're juggling club responsibility with responsibility to country. And you've always said you wanted guys on the roster who want to play in that red shirt. How do you manage sort of that pull between club responsibility and the push to get into the Hex here?
Yeah, tough conversations. You really have to understand the mindset of people. You know, guys sometimes want to be here, but they're not here. They're not present. Their minds are on other things. And I've got to figure that out before, you know, those 23 names are put on a roster. So some big names might miss out because they've given you that insight that playing here in front of, you know, 7,000 people on an AstroTurf field, that's not where their mind might want to be. And I want guys that are absolutely gonna give you what you deserve, and more importantly, take us where we need to get to. There's no life in between. Not on nights like is coming on March the 27th.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Other questions before we move to a photo op?
Ted Godwin, Lakeside Boys Television. I'm just wondering, actually, if I can ask Rob, is the hydro pole going to be moved in time?
Sitting right next to you. That's the
It would add to our capacity. We would like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all working on it. Any external pressure definitely helps. And I just kind of want to finish with what John said. I mean, it's important. I mean, if you're a proud Canadian, you need to get out to this game. You need to support this team. I mean, it's about inspiring this nation. It's a global game. I mean, obviously, we all understand that, but we need the community to get behind this and pack this. And we want to create an identity at Westhills Stadium, not just Pacific FC, but a national team identity, right? Have the national team come back. Right, if they have a successful game, if it's sort of that hostile environment John's talking about, we need to bring that, right? And it's in our hands as a community and as community leaders. We need to get behind and talk about it and get behind this game because it's the World Cup we're talking about, right? And it's a long path, but this game's extremely important, and we hope to host many more games here, whether it's the men's national team or women's. So like I said, get behind it, talk about it, and let's pack this place and let's watch the men's national team get the points they deserve.
So Rob has promised us the thunderclap, the Lanford thunderclap, and if you don't know what that is, you need to know because he's promised that we're going to hear that during the game.
There you go. I'll be leading it.
They tried to do it at the Canucks game the other day. It's not a hockey thing, guys. It's a football thing. Okay. Are we good to go to a photo op? Okay, thank you very much to everyone who has joined us today. We will walk out here for the photo op. We felt that was the best to start.
Do you want to do one in the front to start?
Sorry, we might do something in the front to start. The official poster for the match. And we will have, not myself in the photo, but John and Rob. Here you go, guys. You can move the stools out of the way. John loves when he stands.
Okay, so if you can start looking at James, just look at James. Look right there. We'll start there.